Hi, let's talk today about Raum. You can read his abilities here, and let's get started. Raum has a big advantage over any heroes, and that is that you can generate life shield for yourself, and it is not affected by Cauterize Wrecker or Bulldozer or anything. You get fixed 200 after every 6 shot. It should be not even against the same targets, so you can just switch to from player to player and you still get those shields after every 6 shot. Although your weapon has a spin up time, it can be negated if you activate ignition. Then you have something like a half second before you can shoot. You have 900 damage per second, but you move like a snail while you are damaging people. And you have no additional damage output in addition to your minigun, because Ruckus has, for example, rockets shooting for extra damage and he can jump after enemies, and you are just walking pretty slowly and damaging your enemies. So if they can run somehow, you cannot really catch up to them except if you use your Juggernaut ability. Your Juggernaut ability can close up pretty much high distances, and it's not like Ash's shoulder bash, because it will not get cancelled once you hit someone. If you can hit someone next to a wall, you can pretty much just bounce him until he dies. Okay, now I don't really have distance increasing in my loadout, but with distance he should be dead already. Your ultimate ability has a much higher charge rate than any other heroes. You can check it. You just need to kill Fernando here less than 3 times. So you need around 12,000 damage to have an ultimate. If you are successfully able to gain shield while your enemies are still damaging you, you still get cauterized to your normal health. So if your health would be low while you have shields, your healers will still have trouble healing you. On the other hand, if you have veteran, your extra shield also affects your regeneration. So if you have low health but you have shields, you will generate more health per second out of combat. Normally too, and with veteran too. Let's talk about legendary cards. Earth Splitter, this is pretty much self-explanatory, but the interesting is that with moral boost it is not additive but multiplicative. So if you add it together, it should be around this amount, but instead if you multiply it, then you get this, but you have with the two combine this, so somewhere between the two, but I would rather say still multiplicative, because maybe a DR would affect it or anything, but the point is that. Enforcer is pretty much self-explanatory too, and Subservience, it's interesting. Let me talk about it. Basically your soul harvest grants you 2000 soul armor, but the game thinks that if you would have sucked 10 pieces of these soul fragments from enemies, they have a range where you can auto suck them into yourself and where you have to use your soul harvest to get them to you, as you can see. So if you would go with this to heal your allies, it will initially heal them too for 1000 and an additional 100 health for each of these. And if you are using this card Shattered Essence, then you are getting 1000 health back too from activating Soul Harvest. So as you can see, my HP is 1250 and it should jump up by 2000 from the shield and 100 from the self heal. You see, I got 3000. Also you can activate your soul harvest from any distance. The soul fragments will still come to you, and even if they cannot, because you are in line of sight, they will not forget that they are coming. They will be waiting you over here, and as soon as I walk there, they will be sucked into me. So what's good about your shield? If, let's say, a Skye would poison you, your HP would be still just damaged based on your base health. So based on my 4650 instead of 9000 or something with max shields. And if I have max shields, for example, and the Zhin with guillotine ultimates me, I can still survive it. Also, your ultimate mentions that it will destroy any shields and deployables, etc. But if you apply it on a Khan shield, for example, because he holds it, then only Khan will be stunned and his shield will be put away automatically, so it won't break. It's not like an Ash shield. Okay, let's check which cards are good or not for Raum. This card can be good if you use it for flanking. This card is applied to your base health, so it can get cauterized while you are gaining your normal 200 shield stacks. This can be gained as a cauterized health. If you have these two at the maximum and you can press your soul harvest without cauterize on yourself, then you will get your 1000 as I showed it before from pressing Q instantly, and another 500 plus the 2000 shield HP. So it will give you 3500 health just by pressing Q. Okay, but let's move on. This is pretty much self-explanatory. These two. This is just a waste of points. If you have a shield around yourself, it will not get the damage reduction if you use, for example, any card from your loadouts or this card. So if you activate Juggernaut and you get shield, it will be still can be damaged like normally, so it will not get damage reduction. Okay, this is good stuff. This is a good stuff if you combine it with this, for example. So yes. Oops. And okay. This is pretty much useless with this card too, because you will almost never reload. You have 500 ammo. You can spam ignition anytime you want, so you get another 3 seconds shooting free, and without any ignition or anything you can shoot up to 25 seconds maybe without reloading, so not much of a use. This is pretty much useless because you have ignition. Okay, and health. Basically, because Raum has self-generating HP and your armor shield HP gets damage reduction, I would highly recommend that you use some damage reduction cards in your loadout instead of just spamming HP to the max, because you will get HP just by shooting. Also, what's interesting, if you have maximum shields, those 200 you would get from Soul Fragment will start to heal your base health up, but I'm pretty sure it's affected by Cauterize. And if you still have not maximum HP, but once you have reached your maximum shields, then any soul fragment you would gain will try to full up your HP before it fulls up fully. And then after that happens, you can get shields again. So you have not max HP, but you have max shields. Someone damages your shield, but still you will get that 200 to your HP, and I'm sure it will be cauterized, so I'm pretty sure that this is a bug or something that they didn't intend to have. I'm sure it would be prioritized to still full up your armor instead of fulling up your health.